Welcome back to CIA Declassified, the broadcast dedicated to dissecting the classified documents that reveal how intelligence agencies turn the fundamental limits of the human body into a tactical design challenge. Today, we abandon the gentle, silent manipulation of the subconscious and turn our focus to the raw physical environment of human duress. We address the chilling fact that U.S. intelligence scientifically explored methods to make human beings resistant to the most extreme forms of psychological and physical pressure. Not to avoid using these methods, but to create assets that could withstand them. We are analyzing the CIA's involvement in engineered resistance and high stress tolerance, treating the human stress response as a mechanism that could be tuned and fortified against collapse. Our primary evidence is declassified file CIA-RDP77-00431R000100020004-9. This brutal report is titled, quote, "The Limits of Human Stress and Engineered Resistance," end quote. It confirms that medical, physiological, and psychological resources were tasked with evaluating the exact points at which the human mind and body surrender under information under duress, and crucially, how to push those points far past what is naturally possible. The context here is the ultimate operational security, the unbreakable agent. An intelligence asset who knows they will face capture and extreme pressure must be psychologically and physiologically prepared to endure levels of stress that would cause a normal individual to break or suffer permanent memory loss. The file's existence confirms that the natural human response to pain, fear, and isolation was viewed as a strategic vulnerability that required technological and pharmacological correction. The analysis focuses on two primary areas: physiological markers of a breakdown for objective assessment and tolerance enhancement for creating fortified assets. Let's drill down into the rigorous and disturbing methodology documented in this file. The analysts demanded a scientific means to measure the point of failure and a systematic means to prevent it. The file required an intense focus on sensory deprivation and stress profiling. Research involved subjecting individuals to extreme conditions, extended total darkness and silence, continuous loud noise and light, and induced sleep deprivation, while monitoring their physical response. The goal was to identify the physiological markers of psychological breakdown. These markers included specific hormonal shifts like cortisol spikes, heart rate variability, and changes in brainwave patterns that immediately precede the complete psychological collapse of a subject. This shows the effort to quantify the moment a subject loses the capacity to resist interrogation. The key solution explored was pharmaceutical and technological tolerance enhancement. The document details the use of specific experimental drug cocktails designed to suppress panic responses, stabilize memory retrieval under stress, and elevate the pain threshold. Furthermore, neurobiofeedback techniques were explored to train assets to consciously control their physiological markers, overriding the body's natural alarm systems even when facing extreme duress. The document includes technical specifications for establishing resistance time extension rates, the measurable increase in the subject's ability to resist interrogation compared to a control group. This confirms the research was purely outcome-driven, creating quantifiable extra time before compromise. Crucially, the file dedicated an entire section to creating the unbreakable agent. This went beyond treating symptoms. It involved integrating psychological training, physiological conditioning, and pharmacological support into a unified program to engineer a subject with maximum endurance. We must now examine the primary finding: the agency's assessment of the program's success. This is a critical excerpt regarding the confirmation of viability. Quote, "The combined application of redacted pharmaceuticals and targeted autonomic nervous system biofeedback training demonstrably extends the window of sustained resistance to extreme sensory deprivation and pain stimuli by a factor of redacted." And then a second quote from a section discussing asset reliability. Quote, "An agent's utility is defined by their ability to withstand compromise. This program's success ensures the reliability and persistence of critical intelligence even under conditions deemed fatal or unbearable to an unconditioned subject." End quote. This is the true meaning of the file. It states that the limits of human endurance are not fixed, but a variable to be engineered. The agency saw an opportunity to utilize advanced physiological manipulation to create assets that were literally impossible to break through conventional means. The focus shifted from how do we extract the information to how do we ensure they cannot. We now address the chilling operational implications of this file, the use of engineered resistance in managing human intelligence assets. The most extensive redactions occur in the section titled Pre-Deployment Conditioning Protocols and Long-Term Side Effects and Asset Burnout. This suggests detailed discussions around the intensive, dangerous training regimens required to install this resistance and the acknowledged risk of permanent psychological damage or physiological harm, burnout, from pushing the human system past its designed limits. Why redact side effects? Because the documentation of severe irreversible damage to human subjects, even those considered friendly assets, would expose the extreme measure taken in the name of operational security. The concept discussed is the creation of a human endurance platform. These agents are not just trained, they are chemically and psychologically modified to operate outside the normal parameters of human tolerance. Their utility is measured by their ability to suffer and survive without compromising mission objectives. The file details the requirements for specialized medical teams to manage the physiological consequences of the resistance program, ensuring the agent remains functional despite the immense engineered stress loaded onto their system. The strategic weaponization of this research is clear. It is an unbreakable asset weapon. A state possessing this capacity gains the ability to field agents who are, in effect, immune to the most reliable methods of adversarial intelligence gathering, granting an unprecedented level of operational security. We conclude our analysis of this document. The existence and scope of the research confirm that U.S. intelligence treated the manipulation of human tolerance and stress response as an actionable, high-priority strategic objective. The implication is that analysis moved into the sphere of applied physiological engineering, seeking to exploit the natural breaking points of the human body for the sake of perpetual intelligence advantage. This research represents the ultimate weaponization of human suffering. If this documented truth has opened your mind to the technological boundaries explored by those in power, we require your continued support. First, like this episode and leave us a detailed 5-star review wherever you listen. This is how the analysis exposes the ethical depths of these programs. Second, share this episode with someone obsessed with stress physiology, extreme training, or the dark side of behavioral psychology. We need more sharp minds analyzing these documented facts. Next, we move from the limits of the human body to the theoretical limits of time and space. We will analyze the CIA's classified research into tachyon field detection and temporal communications, the agency's attempts to identify and utilize hypothetical particles that allegedly travel faster than the speed of light with the explicit operational goal of sending intelligence back to the past. For our next investigation, we'll dissect the CIA document RDP79-011-88R000100020001-5, a mind-bending file concerning the strategic value of preemptive knowledge. What were the theoretical energy requirements for generating a coherent tachyon field? How did the analyst plan to leverage this concept to transmit simple intelligence like binary code or a short signal backward in time? And what does this reveal about the ultimate physics-defined goal of eliminating all uncertainty about future adversarial moves? Tune in next for CIA Declassified, Tachyons, Time Travel, and Preemptive Intelligence. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question the limits of your own endurance, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.